I am Khalid Ahmed, Chair of IEEE Student Branch. First of all, I would like to welcome Mr. Abdulla Alhamed, and I would like to welcome you all in our IEEE event. Thank you for attending. I would also like to take this opportunity to introduce IEEE. The IEEE is the world's largest professional association that aims to benefit humanity through innovation and technological excellence. You may be asking yourself, why join as a member? Being a member provides you that opportunity to network with other professionals, attend events like this one, keep up with the ever-changing technology related to your field, as well as participate in student competitions. Finally, it provides you with the travel grants to attend worldwide conference and scholarships.
Thank you, Khalid. I am Amna and I will continue this brief presentation. You may be asking yourself as well, who can register? Everyone is welcome to become an IEEE member, more specifically engineering majors, students who study computer science and information technology, physical sciences and math, education, law and policy. For more information, visit our Instagram page at IEEE UOB.
Hello everyone, my name is Abdullah Al-Balushi. I'm one of the IEEE members. First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Khalid and Ms. Amna for their excellent presentation. Before we begin, I just want to tell you guys that there will be a feedback link in chat box at the end of the presentations. Hope you all fill out the form. And now, I would like to welcome Mr. Abdulla Alhamed. Go ahead, Mr. Abdullah.
Thank you very much, everyone. And I was actually thinking twice whether I will do a presentation or I will actually talk to you directly. And after a serious discussion between me and myself, I thought of actually talking to you, since we are already having this barrier of being away from our colleagues, instead of having a physical contact or physical even meetings. We reached a stage that we are now having everything behind the screen. So without prolonging, first of all, I would like to thank IEEE for this invitation. I'm so happy and proud of seeing University of Bahrain super active in all aspects and all the way. And congratulations for those who already graduated from the programs that they've attended. I look forward to meet with you as colleagues in the market and see exactly how we all can together change the perception of thinking that people who just join a work environment is going to take a long time to learn how to run the business or how to participate and contribute in the productivity. And with this really big advancements that we see it in our life, it is so easy to utilize some simple tools to achieve big achievements and change the world that the business is running. So with this area, I've actually, Khalid, I thank you, Khalid. He asked me to talk about practical tools in career life. In the past, and especially, I believe, correct me guys, you are all in the engineering field. Correct me if I'm wrong. Or do we have people who are not in the engineering field?
No, we have in other field also.
What field we are talking about? I just need to understand in general if you can help me.
Engineering and IT in general.
Perfect. Well, IT is an engineering. You go left, you go right. At the end of the day, it's all about process engineering, if I may call it. And if any engineer says, let me ask this question, and I would be very happy if you guys participate. And you can even participate or join through the chat. So when we talk about engineering, or sorry, IT and engineering in general, what's the common thing between all of them? Give me one word. And if you want to speak...
Finding solutions on a specific application.
Finding solutions, perfect, perfect answer. Give me more.
Brainstorming.
Efficiency.
Efficiency, perfect. Again, more.
Physics.
Again?
Physics.
Physics. Exactly.
Software and hardware.
Software and hardware. What about in the engineering? What about a civil engineer or mechanical engineer? Is software and hardware will be involved in this business?
Yes, of course. Software is everywhere.
Software is everywhere. Thank you very much. What else we have?
Creativity, perhaps.
Creativity and innovation to come up with a solution. I swear, if you guys list down lots of ideas and thoughts together and you put them all in one line and you start prioritizing which one going to come first and which one will come last, you will find that all of them are connected. Whatever you say is connected, whether it's engineering. So in general, what I usually summarize it with a scope that have processes to be achieved, time that will be required for that, and then resources that need to be linked. Those who had an idea or studied project management, they will understand that it is always about scope, time, and resources. And resources can be human resources or can be financial resources, or both. And of course, it's always both. So we talk about time, scope, and resources. The faster we do our project is going to be more expensive or cheaper? What do you think?
I think it depends on the customer that you're working on. Some customer may just, postpone things and then you have nothing to do. You have to wait.
As an engineer and as a software programmer or engineer or researcher or whatever, when I ask you to do a task and you do it in a very efficient, fast way, what that will contribute? Will it contribute in increasing the cost or reducing the cost?
It depends on the engineer. Is he an excellent engineer or just,
No, my question here, answer this or that. If I accelerate and speed up the process in coming up with a solution, will that increase the cost or reduce the cost? I want people to say
increase the cost.
Agree or
I think
increase the cost?
decrease.
Yes.
I didn't say in the implementation. Decrease?
Increase.
Increase. Okay, now, how many people say increase? I need hands to be raised. You know, guys, how to raise your hands in Teams? If you say increase the cost, I want to see who are the one who's saying increase the cost. Increase the cost if I accelerate the process. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're having 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. طبعا ما يندرى الباقيين يمكن يكونوا راقدين مو ويانا بس سوين لوجن بس يلا fine. Only those people. Zain, can you guys volunteer? Whoever said increase the cost, explain to me why it will increase the cost.
Yes, can I answer?
Please.
Or someone else wants to answer?
Okay, Najla first. Yalla, go ahead.
Okay, I would say normally it takes any project a lot of time. So if you want me to increase my speed and you have to buy the man hour, and I will just increase the payment at the end.
Okay, so if your argument, Najla, is when you increase the speed of the project, you accelerate the project, it will cost you more resources. Is that what you're saying?
Man hour, people has to work more hours.
Najla, man hour or resources, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so it will need more resources.
Exactly.
But it will decrease the time.
Yes.
Okay, Yalla. Amna, I think you want to say something?
I believe it might increase the cost, but for another reason. Maybe it, having a smaller time period will not produce the most efficient solution, and therefore you have to redo the whole process again and find a better solution.
If I accelerate things, I'm saying here that when I accelerate things, it will contribute in reducing the quality as well. Okay, other ideas? Yes. Who else? Qasim?
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think if you want to speed up, you need some extra materials to do your work, and that
extra resources.
Yeah, and that extra resources might cost you a lot.
Will cost you a lot. Okay, Abdullah, I disagree with you that you will need extra material, because when you're doing the things faster or slower, if the scope of work is exactly the same, you don't need to increase the material. What else?
There is a triangle that with three things that are in conflict with each other.
Yes, Qasim, carry on.
Time and cost.
Yes.
So the more quality you want, the more cost you will need.
But the question was not about the quality. Quality is going to be as a market standard. We are saying if we accelerate the work, is it going to reduce the cost or increase it?
No, it's going to increase it.
It will increase it. Correct.
Yes, you cut corners.
Okay, now thank you for the people who said it will increase the cost. Who say that it will decrease the cost? Abdullah لحنك بعد مصر ان it will decrease. انت كنت قايل it will increase. والله هاي different Abdullah. Different. Okay. يلا. So guys, who say that it will decrease the cost? You see, Amal and Sayyid. Yalla, Amal, tell me. Only two people are saying it will decrease the cost. This is our question for this session.
I agree with Qasim. I think it will decrease the cost because the efficiency of the quality of the product won't be that much.
No, I said it will decrease the cost of the project, not the cost, not the value of the project.
Sorry, of the project. Yani, the work won't be as efficient as the project when someone takes time to do it.
I am saying to you, there is a project that needs to be done. It is costing 1 million dinar. If I accelerate the speed, I can save some money and reduce the cost of the project. So do you agree with this or not? If you don't agree, put your hand down.
Can you repeat it, please?
If you are doing so my question was very clear. If you are doing a project and it is costing you 1 million, and there is the time, scope, and cost. If I keep the scope the same, but accelerate the project, make it faster, will that reduce the cost or increase the cost? Your colleagues earlier, Najla and Amina, Amna and Abdullah says, and Qasim says it will increase the cost. Are you with them or against them?
I don't know, I'm confused now.
Confused? Then okay, say neutral. Say it.
It will decrease, I think, because if we are producing something, we will have more products per time. So
no, so go ahead. So you can do more projects.
Yes. So we will buy more. So our cost will decrease because our profit will increase.
Our profit will increase. Okay. Murtada.
I didn't answer.
Huh?
It will decrease the cost because the longer the workers stay in the project, the more payment they will get.
Salaries.
So yeah, you will waste the money on work that can be done in shorter time. So
an efficient person can reduce the time that will be required and increase the efficiency, which we call it here efficiency, though it will reduce the cost eventually. Sayyid, you want to say something?
That was me. I just said it.
You said it, huh? Okay. بعد خلاص. فأنا حصلت اثنين يقولون إن if we accelerate the process, it will decrease the cost. وأربعة أو سبعة قالوا لا, if you accelerate the speed, it will increase the cost. Now, welcome to the digital environment. In the digital environment and the tools, بنستخدم practical tools for our career life. Believe me, in any organization that you will work for, the faster you deliver your scope of work, the scope that's required from you, it will definitely make the organization get hold of you, needs you more, and even will pay you higher pay. I repeat it again. كثر ما أنتم تكونون في مؤسسات أو شركات وتحصلون you do your job in a faster way, faster pace. I'm still sticking to the quality and keeping the same scope of work, but being more efficient in delivering in a faster way, definitely you will be at a higher rate and people will like working with you. So if you are doing, for example, a building and that contractor is saying that the building will take 3 years to be delivered, and another contractor tells you that I will finish it for you in 6 months, and you know from track record that the contractor who's doing it in 6 months is more efficient, then there is cost versus benefits. So if I wait for 3 years to finish the building, I will also look at the opportunity that lost in terms of using the building, renting it, operating, making income out of it. Either I will go to the other way around and say I will make that building in 3 years. The cost will be maybe less in terms of perfecting it. Maybe I will go for a super perfect quality. Whether I doubt it, it will be a perfect quality. There are lots of chances of issues and change of scope. The more time it takes, the scope will change. And then ultimately I will end up reaching a stage in the product itself won't be attractive to the market. لأن الناس تمللوا منه. مع العلم إن إذا أنا very efficient in delivering my product or services or building or whatever or software to the market just in time, based on the need, then there's a bigger chance for it. And I'll give you an easy example for this. خلينا نقول we are developing a software, an application, and that application is needed by the market. There is a real good demand for it. However, the team who wants to develop this, some of the team are living abroad and another part of the team are here in Bahrain, and some programmers and coders are busy with other jobs, but they are interested in being part of this project. And I'm sure you guys during the university time, you've had lots of projects to work together. So tell me guys, which one is faster and easier? For you physically to meet in a location and fix an appointment that you will meet, or you just send a link and all of you meet online? Whoever agrees with this, please raise your hand. Which one agree on coming online? It's faster and more efficient. I see only 3 hands. Whoever tells me that meeting physically is faster and more efficient. So people who raise their hand for the digital channel, drop it down. I want the one who say when we meet physically, we have a better efficiency. Okay, team who's saying physical, tell me why. Whoever said they want to talk, physically, why physically is more efficient and it will deliver the needed things?
Because if you,
Abdullah, go ahead.
Because if you meet physically, you will have that energy to done the work. But if you do it online, you will not feel like doing it.
You don't feel that you're doing it. Okay, thank you, Abdullah. Next.
I think we will understand the body language of each other and understand the problem and the work that we want to do more better when we meet physically.
In which field, Amal, you are?
Engineering, electrical.
Electrical engineering. So you know that when you're discussing things through remote channels, that won't work.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
What else? Hamed?
Now, can we go to the other group?
Okay, the other group. The other group who says online on digital channels will be more efficient.
Yes, we are.
Okay, tell me why.
First, I just answered due to your application example. Of course, not for everything. For example, hardware stuff. You know, it's software application work, so it's computer-based work. It's not hardware, anything.
Okay.
So if it's something like that, then why not? We just go to online and we fix everything. We open the cameras if possible. Yeah, it will be just shortcuts. No one to drive, no one to waste time.
Yes. Okay, now let me go back to the actual issue. The actual issue is we're still being taught and learned the old-fashioned way that everything that we need to do on a physical location will solve the problem. The real issue out of this is the travel time is a waste of time for the organization. The understanding of the point on that location might be requiring only 1 or 2 people, but not everybody. So moving from a location to location is causing traffic jam, causing a lot of issues that is wasting your time. If the person is abroad, he will need to travel. And remember, my example was the software. So all those software programmers and engineers or researcher analysts can meet. Even if you want to see the body language, you can have a video conferencing, and that will give you the body language of the person. If you want to have a direct chat with a person, you can still have a direct side chat. If you want to have a more efficient understanding for the information, I guarantee for you that even if you go for a location to measure distances or measure areas or whatever, if you get the CAD of the file of the location, the AutoCAD files, and get all the dimensions, will be much better than visiting it physically. The point that I want to highlight here is I can finish 10 meetings a day by just doing it online. But if I will go for a meeting in a different location, Bahrain, alhamdulillah, is small, but if you're talking about the international market, it's huge. I sometimes spend 1 week just to attend one meeting, just to travel, check in, finish all the paperwork, including my team will be busy and doing the booking and the transportation and whatever. And that's a waste of time that is not necessary and will affect the budget of the project. So what I am always saying, the efficiency that I'm asking for is by using practical tools. And the easiest practical tool that I can see today with everyone is example. I'm not promoting for this, but I think everybody is having WhatsApp on their phone. In fact, when I was invited for this event, I was invited via WhatsApp. The link was sent to me by WhatsApp. I clicked on it and I am here. So having a good collaboration application between the team members of the project is a must. It's very important. So keep in mind that having a tool like WhatsApp, or for example, if you look at in Microsoft, they have some application for collaboration. I'm not talking about the meeting application. But the leading applications and meetings nowadays is Teams and Zoom. So you guys need also to master those tools and master how to use the tools here. And I don't know the rest of the team if they are understanding what we are saying or just watching and monitoring, because I don't see them interacting by even raising their hands. Is it because they don't understand how to use the tool? If they don't understand, I really invite them, please use that tool and make use of it. If they are not really using the facilities and products that are in the market, that will be also an issue for them in the future. Going forward for the other tools, for example, when everybody is talking about using Microsoft projects or using some other advanced like ProClarity or whatever, I will tell you that if you use even from Microsoft, there's a very simple tool called To Do. If you note it down, if you have Microsoft Office, or even if you don't have it, just log into there, download an application. The logo is a tick sign. So it's called Microsoft To Do. And Microsoft To Do will make it very easy to set all the tasks that you want to do them and assign tasks to others that will help them doing that. Najla, you want to say something?
Yes, I would recommend an application, a software called Notion, where you can edit documents with your
Which one?
teammates. Notion.
Notion,
Do
okay.
you know it? Yeah, it's an amazing software where you can work with your teammates and work on the same document at the same time. You both can edit, and it's just so easy and amazing. You can try it.
By the way, Najla, do you know that Microsoft Office itself, which everybody is using, is already allowing you to do track changes and editing at the same time with any standard document?
Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Abdullah, but sadly the time is over.
Yes. Okay.
So I would like to invite the other doctor, if you don't mind.
Give me a minute or conclude, and
Yes.
I will. Yes, give me a minute, please. Okay, so in conclusion, what I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, utilize the tools online, because that will make it easier for you. So I'll give you 3 applications. One is called ClickUp. ClickUp is a very comprehensive application. It's free. The second one is To-Do. It's a free application. You can download it and use it, and you will be surprised that the whole market is already using it. And WhatsApp, of course, it's already there. By setting up groups, share documents and applications, people will use it. So in a nutshell, if you use those tools, you will save your time of traveling, you'll save your time in using other tools, and it's easy for anyone, whether they are senior management, engineers, management, or even laborers. All of them will be collaborating with you. And if you save the time in collaboration and reach everyone with pictures, videos, animation, and files, it will definitely, as an answer for all of you, will reduce the cost of operation, and that will make me achieve my objective of having my tools in my hand. I thank you, all of you. Thank you very much, and thank you for IEEE. Abdullah, the microphone.
Thank you, Mr. Abdullah, for this useful information. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
وشكرا لتعاونكم مع المهندس عبد الله. والحين أحب أرحب بالمهندس حسن الجامع والطالبة أمل حجاج. تفضلوا.
السلام عليكم، نتشرف بحضورك معنا مهندس حسن في الفعالية. حابين نسألك طبعا بعض الأسئلة إذا تسمعني مهندس؟
لا السلام عليكم. إيه تفضلوا. إيه جاهز.
ممكن أول شيء مهندس تعطينا تعريف بسيط عن الذكاء الصناعي وكيفية عمله حق الطلاب اللي ما يعرفونه؟
أوكي. أنا في واجد تعاريف حق الذكاء الاصطناعي، لكن التعريف اللي أنا أفضله يعني إن لما نكتب إحنا سوفت وير أو أي كود معين لازم نكون يعني نكون واجد حرفيين في طريقة الأداء أي مهمة معينة. يعني نقول إذا الرقم كان أزيد من كذا افعل كذا، إذا كذا افعل كذا. بينما الذكاء الاصطناعي من ناحية ثانية، الذكاء الاصطناعي إن مو 100% تكون حرفي. يعني في مجال إن الكمبيوتر نفسه يتعلم ويؤدي المهمة بدون ما تقول له بشكل حرفي شلون يؤدي المهمة. ما أدري إذا الشرح هذا واضح أو أوضح زيادة. يعني شو اسمه؟
إذا تبي توضح تفضل. إذا تبي توضح تفضل.
أبسط مثال كمبيوتر فيجن، يعني مثلا إن شلون نقول شلون مثلا هذا دائما يستعملونها في السيلف درايفنج كارز. مثلا انتم لما تسجلون في اكونت او اي شيء في اكيد صادفكم كابشا يقول لك هايلايت فاير تراكس، هايلايت باص، هايلايت. هذا حق شنو يستعملونه؟ هذا يستعملونه حق السيلف درايفنج كارز. لما يشوفون بالكاميرا يشوفون حوالين السيارة يتعرف هذه السيارة، هذا كذي. وهذا شيء مهم، لأن إذا مثلا لازم يتعرف أن في سيارة هاي أولا، ولازم يتعرف أي قد سرعتها ويصير رياكشن بعد. يعني هذه كلها في لحظات تحصل. وشلون يتعرف ان هذه سياره؟ ما نقول له بشكل حرفي ان هذه سياره، بس بدنا نعطيه صور، هذه سيارات، هذه جاده، وهو بيعرفها بدون ما احنا نعرفها بشكل يعني شو اسمه دقيق. هو اوريدي يعرفها، بس مجرد نقول له هذه الصور سيارات، هذه صور باصات، هذه صور كذا الى اخره. وطبعا حق بعد لو الكمبيوتر فيجن، اذا نتكلم بسيلف درايفنج كارز بعد لازم نتكلم سنسر فيوجن، انه ياخذ
مهندس حسن ما نسمعك، قطع الاتصال. إيه الحين أوكي مهندس، تفضل.
الو قطع الخط. شنو اخر شيء قلته؟ قاعد تتكلم ونقطع. اظن اخر شيء تكلمت عن اوكي المثال سيلف درايفنج كارز، انه اوكي يعني مو بس انه يتعرف انه هي سياره، بعد لازم يتعرف السرعه، يتعرف على هذا، وانه يسوي رياكشن. يعني هذه اكثر من one sensory input، يعني مو بس الكاميرا، هم ياخذ من السونار، هم ياخذ من شيء اسمه ليدار بعد، وش اسمه، ويسوي ومن هالمعلومات يسوي رياكشن. مثلا سياره وقفت هو يوقف قبل لا يدعم الى اخره. يعني هاي مثال بسيط يعني عشان اوضح.
إنزين تقدر مهندس تعطينا تطبيقات عن الذكاء الصناعي يعني في البحرين وفي العالم؟
في واجد تطبيقات الحين لأن مثل ما ذكرت قبل ان في ان ما ان الطريقه ان نخلي الكمبيوتر يتعلم ويؤدي مهمات من تلقائيا من نفسه، بيصير واجد في شو اسمه، في واجد عليها ابلكيشنز في المجال الطبي بشكل مثلا. وهذا في البحرين واجد، يعني احيانا اشوف في مبادرات في البحرين، يعني يستعملون هالنوع من التقنيات. مثلا في الدايجنوسيس، يعني نقدر نعطيه صورة اكس راي او اي نوع صورة، اي نوع تيست في صورة، ويقدر يتعرف هل في مثلا، هل في كانسر، هل في هذا، هل في هذا. كل هالنوع من الأسئلة يقدر يجاوب. اوريدي في تقنيات في تسوي هذه، تقوم بهذه المهمة. وهم بعد إذا هم بعد للناس اللي مثلا فقدوا شو اسمه أطراف، يقدرون يضيفون روبوت، يعني أطراف روبوتية وتتحرك، يعني التحكم بها عن طريق المخ. يعني المخ يفكر مثلا شلون تتحرك الإيد، والإيد تتحرك كذي يعني. شنو بعد؟ diagnosis ذكرت. هذا بس هذا الحين كلها أمثلة في الميديكال. في بعد في chat box يستعملون، في natural language processing واجد يستعملونها. وفي تطبيقات financial بعد. هذه اوريدي هاي قديمة، يعني حطينا روبوتات في سوق الأسهم تتعامل مع روبوتات ثانية كذي، وهكذا يعني. شنو بعد؟ civil engineering بعد فيها واجد تطبيقات في السيفل انجينيرنج، مثلا road maintenance، او هذا انه يشوفون وين التشققات، وين هذا، او انه في شارع زحمه، في شارع مو زحمه، فشلون يقللون الزحمه. هاي بعد، هذا بعد في تقنيات لهالموضوع. هذه امثله بس، يعني بس في واجد امثله واجد يعني. هو أصلا كل موضوع ياخذ نظرة بحد ذاته.
إنزين مهندس، تقدر تنصحنا مثلا بمهارات أو برامج مطلوبة من الطالب إنه يتعلمها عشان ينخرط في مجال عمل الذكاء الصناعي؟
أوكي، إذا بنتكلم سوق عمل يعني شو اسمه، يعني لازم خليني أشرح. أوكي، في سوق العمل يكون في نوع في أوكي بتكونون من ضمن شركة، نوعين من الشركة. شركة عندها ابلكيشن معين، هالابلكيشن فيه AI مثلا، أو شركة مستهلكة إن هي تستعمل التطبيق شو اسمه يعني يستعملون التطبيق اللي شو اسمه تسويه الشركة المنتجة. يعني في شركات منتجة للسوفت وير، وفي شركات شو اسمه لا تستهلك. ومن الصوبين يحتاجون ناس إن يدعمون الابلكيشن يعني من الطرفين، بحيث ان الخدمه تكون فعاله يعني. شو اسمه فالمهار فاللي بنوه عليه انه شنو، ان اذا سواء كان من طرف الشركه المنتجه للابلكيشن او المستهلكه، حتى تلاحظون انه ما يقولون سوفت وير، يقولون سولوشن. سولوشن معناته مو بس بيس اوف كود، يعني كود، الانفراستراكشر، الداتابيس، النتورك، واهم شيء اللي هي شو اسمه الدواعي شو اسمه انفورميشن سكيورتي كونسيدريشن، الامنيه. يعني لان مو بس فقط نستعمل كل الانتر يعني حتى يعني اذا نتكلم نتورك مثلا، اي بورت، اي باكج، اي نوع باكج بعد، يعني في اشياء دقيقه من هالنوع. يعني مو كل شيء مفتوح، كل شيء مغلق، وكل واحدة مراقبة. يعني هذه دواعي أمنية، يعني هاي من ناحية الانفوسيك. يعني هو هذه complete solution. فالحين فلما نرجع للسؤال شنو الأشياء اللي لازم نعرفها، والاي اي مبني على يعني أول شيء لازم الفاندمنتالز يكون عندكم، وفوقها يعني وتستعملون ما اللي تعرفونه في الاي اي في الابلكيشن نفسه. ما هي شنو الفاندمنتالز؟ الفاندمنتالز اللي هي شو اسمه طبعا ديفلوبمنت، وفي الانفراستراكشر. الانفراستراكشر بشكل عام بعد اذا نتكلم اي اي حق الكلاود، لان بعض الاحيان يستعملون الكلاود حق يعني حق كمبيوتي، لان الذكاء الاصطناعي بشكل عام واجد كمبيوتيشنالي هذا، فيستعملون شو اسمه سيرفرات خاصه في الكلاود، او ساعات هذا بشكل عام اللي في ان هاوس، يعني تستعملون سيرفرات ان هاوس. يعني ما اشوف واجد، بس يعني فيه يعني هم هذا موجود. شنو بعد؟ الانفراستراكشر، تكلمت عن الدواعي الامنيه بعد، والنتورك. فيعني هذه يكون يعني الطالب مو لازم يتعمق فيهم ذلين كلهم، بس على الأقل يكون عنده الفاندمنتالز كذي. يعني إنه إذا كان بيشتغل في الشركة المنتجة as a developer، يعني أوكي هني بيستعمل اللي تعلمه في ال AI في التطبيق. لكن حتى لو اشتغل في مكان ثاني بعد هم مفيد، يعني إنه اللي تعلمه من الفاندمنتالز يقدر يطبقه يعني كذي. يعني لا تلزمون نفسكم في شيء واحد.
زين، شنو هي الشهادات المعتمدة اللي يمكن للطالب أخذها في هاي المجال؟
أوكي، في يعني إذا نتكلم بشكل خصوصي الذكاء الاصطناعي، في مثل ما ذكرت قبل أن يعني واجد، يعني إذا الذكاء الاصطناعي very computationally expensive، يعني فعادة بشكل عام يستعملون الكلاود، ولو مثل ما قلت قبل انه مو كلهم. فشلون تحضر واحدة من في شهادتين واجد مفيدة لهذا الغرض، أن شلون يستعملون الذكاء الاصطناعي في الكلاود، اللي هو طبعا أكبر خدمتين حق الكلاود سيرفيسز، في غيرهم واجد بس يعني لدينا العملاقين الكبار اللي هم الاي دبليو اس تبع الامازون اي دبليو اس، وش اسمه حق المايكروسوفت اللي هو الازوري. فيعني اذا في هذا يعني اذا بوجه الخصوص اي في تقدر تستعمل في سيرتيفيكت اللي هو حق الاي دبليو اس اي دبليو اس سيرتيفايد ماشين ليرنينج، وحق الازوري اللي هي ازوري اي انجينير، موجودين في تمكين بعد. فيعني هذا تقدرون تدرجون باستعمال تمكين، متوفرة في البحرين. بالنسبة للاي تي بشكل عام، شو اسمه تقدرون تاخذون حق ايتل اللي هي شو اسمه الاوبريشنز حق الاي تي، وتقدرون تاخذون حق الريد هات شو اسمه سيستم ادمنستريشن. هذا بعد لأن واجد في تطبيقات في نظام لينكس. لينكس في هذه الحالة ريد هات، نوع ريد هات، وهذا اللي يستعملونه أزيد شيء في الشركات. فيعني إنه يكون عنده فاندمنتالز فيهم، هذا بعد مفيد. ونتورك CCNA
يعني نقدر مثلا في مهندس نقدر يعني من البحرين ناخذ هني شهادات تدعمنا في مجال الذكاء الصناعي، ولا كلهم برا، ولا يعني؟
لا واجد نظام التمكين واجد زين في هذه الحالة. أنا مثلا أخذت أول شيء أخذت CCNA. لما دخلت الشغل شفت روحي لازم أحتاج أعرف في المايكروسوفت، لأن شغلي واجد في المايكروسوفت، فأخذت شهادتين بعد في المايكروسوفت وكلها من تمكين. فيعني فأنا أنصحكم أن تروحون تشوفون شهادات اللي مدعومة من تمكين، وبتشوفون واجد فيها اللي تون ذكرتهم عن AI موجودين في تمكين بعد، وحتى الريد هات، وحتى على الأذر فاندمنتالز اللي هو النتورك CCNA و CNP، وهذا كلهم موجودين. وش اسمه أي حتى أوراكل ومايكروسوفت SQL بعد موجودين. يعني فأنا أنصح أن تشوفون شو اسمه الشهادات المدعومة في تمكين، فكلها موجودة ومدعومة بعد.
تمام. الحين مهندس مثلا هل يختلف متطلبات، يعني هل تختلف متطلبات العمل بين صناعة الذكاء الصناعي وصيانته؟
في اختلاف.
إذا ما فهمت بعيدة.
اوكي، اظن قصدش ان تصنعينه من يعني من عدم، او انه اوريدي موجود، ولا هذا قصدش؟
إيه. يعني إذا بسوي كامل بالسوفت وير بكل شيء والهاردوير، أو مثلا إذا واحد موجود واخترب أبي أسوي له صيانة، هل تختلف بينهم المتطلبات ولا لا؟
إيه. الأول يعني من البداية فيها واجد متطلبات، يعني خصيصا إن عشان تكون خدمة تقدرون تقدمونها لشركة مستهلكة. يعني من اللي فهمته من السؤال ان القسم الاول اللي هو ان من اول اللي هي بتكونون شركه منتجه، يعني انتين بتكونوا في شركه هي تصنع السولوشن، واللي يتضمن فيه الابلكيشن معين، تطبيق معين في الاي اي. علشان يكون جاهز انه يستهلك لازم مضبوط امنيا، يعني من ناحيه الانفورميشن سكيورتي. ولازم في شركات يسوون يعني الكلاود نفسه هم يقدمونه، يعني من ضمن الباكج، يعني انهم ان الكلاود بيكون من جهتهم. بس في اشوف بعضهم انه يقدرون يخلون يعطون انفراستراكشر او بنيه تحتيه الى الشركه المستهلكه، يعني السيرفرات اللي تسوي رانينج للابلكيشن عند المستهلكه. وفي بعضهم من هذا على حسب التطبيق. وبعد بعد فيها في الموضوع بعد يدخل الانفوسيك مثلا اذا شيء واجد سنسيتيف يخلونه عند الشركه المستهلكه يعني عشان يغلق امنيا يعني. شنو بعد طبعا ولازم لازم شو اسمه يعني هذا طبعا هذا كله اللي اذكره غير انه نضبط الكود لازم الكود والداتابيس لازم يكون severely tested يعني tested بشكل كل ما يكون tested ازيد كل ما يكون افضل. ولما يكون يعني عادة حتى انه شو اسمه الشركات المنتجة شو اسمه ياخذون شركة أخرى تدقق على الابلكيشن مالهم عشان الغرض من التستنج انه يطلعون اخطاء حتى ما تخطر في بال اللي صنع الابلكيشن يعني يغطون اكبر كمية من الاخطاء. فلما ايش كنت بقول انا؟ ايه انه يغطون اكبر كمية من الاخطاء علشان شنو؟ انه لما يستهلك التطبيق بيكون اقل كميه ممكنه من الاخطاء الفنيه. حتى شو اسمه احسن الابلكيشنز احسن هذا هم بيكون في اخطاء عند المستهلك. فيعني اذا فان التدقيق قبل لا يستهلك شيء واجد مهم. ومن كذي بعض الشركات يخلون شركه ثانيه تدقق على الابلكيشن عشان ما في حيازيه يعني. شنو بعد؟ اي اوكي هذا من جهه هاي القسم الاول. السؤال قلتين بعدين ان شو اسمه الصيانه اي معظم الاشغال يعني اذا تشوف من كميه الشغل في سوق العمل معظمها بيكون صيانه اكثر من ما هي بتكون شو اسمه منتجه يعني انتم تسوون السوفت وير. فيعني هذا فمن كذا انا كنت قبل كله ادقق اقول ان تركزون على الفاندمنتالز اللي هي نتورك داتابيس انفراستراكشر وديفلوبمنت يعني على اساس شنو؟ على اساس ان لان اللي بيصير شنو؟ ان لما بتروحون لما بتحصلون وظيفه وفيها مثلا ان تسوون دعم فني الى ابلكيشن في اي اي او حتى غير اي اي بس يعني الحين معظمهم يعني ياخذون فيها الابلكيشن. ايش كنت بقول؟ بيكون عندكم الفاندمنتالز عشان تتعلمون الدعم هذا لان دائما في ليرنينج كيرف يعني هو مو الواحد ما يخلص التعليم ماله خلص اخذ سيرتيفيكيشن فلاني وهذا وخلاص انا اكملت تعليمي. لا دائما لما بتروح لما تتوظف في هذا وبتقدم دعم فني الى تطبيق معين هم هذا لازم تتعلمه. يعني الهدف من الفاندمنتالز انه تعزز القدره ان تتعلمها بسرعه لان خصيصا اذا في شركه او ما شابه ان لما يحصل خطا فني لازم بسرعه ينحل لانه يعدونها بالدقائق. فيعني هذا شيء يعني فلهذا يعني لازم يكون عمليه التعليم سريعه ويكون سريعه لما يكون عندكم يعني لما تعززون الاساسيات عندكم.
زين مهندس حسن أهم سؤال عند الطلبة إن ما مدى طلب سوق العمل لمختصين ال AI خصوصا يعني في البحرين بشكل عام في العالم بس أكثر شيء يعني في البحرين إيش كثر الطلب على يعني المتخصصين في الذكاء الصناعي؟
الحين لأن في مبادرات يعني حق يعني الحين في واجد مبادرات حق انه يستعملون تطبيقات اللي تتضمن ال AI يعني الحين اذا يعني مثلا عندي واحد يعرف عنده AI درس AI واحد ما درس بيتعلم التطبيق اسرع من واحد فبيصير له الافضليه. لهذا يعني من هذا المنطلق يعني والحين بتزيد تطبيقات اللي تتضمن فيها الاي اي قاعده تزيد يعني يمكن ما بتزيد بشكل سريع، لكن هي قاعده، لكن هناك مبادرات خصيصا في نطاق الميديكال فيلد. اشوف في واجد مبادرات في عند هذا الفيلد. فيعني ان الاي اي، ان معرفه انه يكون عندكم اي اي شيء يفيد يعني. بس يعني اللي انوه عليه انه مو يعني ركزوا بعد على الامور الثانيه، يعني عززوا بعد المهارات الاخرى علشان يعني تكونون يعني مو بس انه علشان تدخلون، مو علشان فقط للمقابله، يعني انه في المقابله عندي واجد سيرتيفيكت، انه بعد انه لما يعني تتعلم تطبيق يعني هو تتعلمه من البدايه يعني. فلما يكون عندكم fundamentals تعرفون الكومبليت سولوشن، لان السولوشن مو بس فقط الكود او اذا صار خطا فني في هذا، بعد لازم تعرفون حق الانفراستراكشر حق هذا. على فكره مو شرط انتم اللي تحلون المشكله، يعني مثلا اذا صار في مشكله في الداتابيس، انه مهم انه تعرف ان في مشكله في الداتابيس علشان احد من الداتابيس يصلحها مثلا يعني. فيعني بس يعني من كذي انا اقول ان تتعلمون الامور الاخرى، يعني ان على الاقل يكون عندكم awareness، يعني تعرف دائما تكونون alert، ويعني تكونوا على وعي تام على كل اللي قاعد يصير من ناحيه يعني كل شيء يتعلق بالتطبيق اللي انتم تدعمون اليه. يعني لما اقول ان تتعلمون other fundamentals نفس النتورك داتابيس وهذا، هذه لان علشان تتعرفون ان المشكله في هذا الموضوع. مثلا المشكله في قد يكون يوزر يستعمل الابلكيشن او اكونت صار اكسبايرد، اذا هذه مشكله مع الانفوسيك، تكلمون مع الانفوسيك تيم يحلونها، او ان اذا كانت المشكله داتابيس تحلونها مع الداتابيس كذي يعني. بس ان اذا نرجع للسؤال من كذا انا اقول ان الاذر فاندمنتالز شيء مهم يعني، وتمكين يدعمون واجد سيرتيفيكيت، وانا انصح ان تستغلون هذا الشيء لانه مفيد يعني. لما نرجع للسؤال ان الاي اي مفيد، يقول ايه في يعني، لان يعطيكم ادفانتج طبعا يعني، لانه واجد في ابلكيشنز تطبيقات فيها الاي اي، سواء انها بتكون من قسم الدعم من الشركه المستهلكه، او ان انت تنتج من الشركه المنتجه نفسها للتطبيق، وهذا من الناحيتين شو اسمه في ادفانتج.
لو سمحت المهندس ممكن اعطي مجال حق اللي عندهم اسئله اذا ما عليك كمان؟
ايه تفضلوا. اي سؤال.
اللي عنده اسئله يرفع يده. تفضلي.
يعطيك العافية، بس شنو هي أهم لغة يفضل أن نتعلمها من قبل إذا كنا ناويين نتخصص في هاي المجال؟
لغة. وش اسمه؟ اوكي. وترى لا اللي اشوفه يعني اللي اشوفه واجد في سي شارب وسي بلس بلس، بس يعني انه مو انا ما اشوف ان تطالعون لغه معينه او هذا، بس في اوكي اذا بتسوون ابلكيشن مثلا كلتن انا قريتها بس ما حد لفظها لي حق الاندرويد وحق الايفون سويفت. هذا ان انتم بتكونون ديفلوبمنت، يعني هاي انتم لما تكونوا في شركه منتجه. اذا شركه مستهلكه ما بيكون لها استعمال واجد. في اوكي حتى الشركات المستهلكه في بعض يعني اذا انتم بتكونون ديفلوبر، هاي انا اتكلم لان هي سالت لغات، يعني اذا لغات يعني ديفلوبر. في الشركات المنتجه يعتمد على وش هذا، اذا تستعملون اذا ابلكيشن حق تليفون كلتن كوتلن اي صحيح ذكرتها، كوتلن وسويفت، هذلن مهمين لان كوتلن حق الاندرويد وسويفت حق شو اسمه الايفون. هذا من ناحيه الموبايل ديفلوبمنت. من ناحيه شو اسمه حتى الشركات المستهلكه، يعني اللي مو تنتج سوفت وير عندهم ان هاوس، يقولون ان هاوس، يعني انه لوكال. هم يستعملون هم يسوون ديفلوبمنت حق مثلا عنده، لان الشركه المستهلكه ما يستهلكون تطبيق واحد، يستهلكون عده تطبيقات مع بعض، يعني تطبيق الف وتطبيق باء لازم يكون يعني يتكلمون مع بعض ان صح التعبير. هذا الكود عاده يستعملون سي شارب او سي بلس بلس لان لسرعته يعني. هذا اللي انا شفته، بس يعني لا مانع مثلا يستعملون بايثون فيها يعني، ولو انه مو هذا اللي انا شفته. يعني انا شفت سي شارب وسي بلس بلس، يعني قد يكون الشركات جديده يستعملون بايثون مثلا، يعني هذا مثلا. شنو بعد غير موبايل ديفلوبمنت غير هذا شنو؟ ولانه يعتمد على اليوزج، هذا اللي اقصده. تعلموا اي لغه، انا انصح تتعلمون، يعني اذا كان الدافع ديفلوبمنت انصح على الموبايل ابلكيشنز اللي هو كوتلن وسويفت.
شكرا مهندس هالمعلومات المفيدة، وشكرا طالبة أمل، وخلص الوقت. والحين أتشرف بالمهندس محمد يعقوب، نتشرف بحضورك. تفضل مهندس.
شكرا أخوي، يعطيك العافية. ومستعد حسن. So, my name is Mohamed Yaqoob, and I prefer to present in English. Not necessarily because I love the language so much or anything like that, because I'll be more comfortable speaking of some technical terminologies that will be much easier to explain in English. So my topic is microcontrollers. So today I'd like to talk to you about microcontrollers and how it happened to be my everyday job. And I'm living in Bahrain. That might sound very surprising to others. Bahrain is normally a consumer market for such sectors and such areas, given that microcontroller is a very research-dependent technology. You need very
لو
good
سمحت
research
الدكتور المهندس الصوت مو واضح.
ثواني تأكد بس من السورس. مايكروفون صح. روح الله صوتي واضح أو لا؟
بس إذا ما عليك أمر تقرب الميكروفون على حلقك، لأنه وايد قاعد يصير الصوت بعيد.
Okay. So let's try again. عادة هو يكون جدا قوي. ثواني بس.
إيه الحين أوكي.
الحين أوكي.
Yeah, better.
إيه نعم.
Okay. كلش تمام. No worries. Let's start again. So I'm going to talk to you about microcontrollers and how it happened to be my day-to-day job. And I'm living in Bahrain, which is rather surprising if you think about it. And for people who know the industry really well, this is a very surprising direction someone can take. So I'm not selling products that other company make. I'm making some myself. So in this brief time, I would like to talk to you about how I happen to be in this, and I'll try to inspire a student or two to potentially take the same route that I took, and why I think it's very important to consider. So I'm sure many of you now are thinking of graduating. Some of you would be graduating this year. Some maybe very soon on the way to graduate. Some might already be graduated. And maybe the majority or a lot of you might be thinking of applying for a job and looking for the opportunities in the market here in Bahrain. Thinking about the job, perhaps the salary, how exciting the job might be, the workspace, and I don't know, maybe collecting a little bit of money and making a saving, getting married, and things like that. And from what I've seen, some people already think about social insurance and retirement. And in my presentation today, or my kind of just casual chat, I don't have any slides. I'd like to kind of slightly change this perception and talk to you from my personal experience, starting from absolute scratch. Like in Bahrain, we don't have a microcontroller market. So I'm kind of making, like starting from scratch. That's the that's the best way I can describe it. And so I'd like to tell you slightly about my personal story. Maybe some of you will be inspired to understand exactly where I'm coming from and why I think following the normal route of listening to your dad, uncles, and your old cousins that are now working in now in either industry or consumer industry here in Bahrain, and why I think it's not right to just follow what they do. We should rather look at the big picture and look at nations, nation-wise, how the other nations are progressing really well, and they're making very significant steps into industrialization. Well, and in fact, now when we talk about industrialization, some nations have already done that in the 18th century, so we're quite behind. And but it's still not too late. Not sure how they say it, but it's better to be late than never. So that's what I'd like to talk about. So now, if you look at other nations and their industry and how they happen to be very successful, we will find very simple answers. So you'll find some industrial nations, some of their scientists and entrepreneurs and businessmen have started by a very little and humble workshop at the backyard of their house or at their garage. They will, if someone is interested in chemistry, they will try to make savings. They're not going to buy food or drinks or buy latest clothing or the latest iPhone. They would rather make some saving and buy tools, chemistry tools, machines, some books as well, and to try to learn and really get in depth. Because practically, if you graduate from university, you don't really have experience. You don't have an in-depth knowledge in what's that you're going to work on. You rather have potential. So you've got all the potential. It's like having a very large bank balance. You don't know the PIN code. You don't know how to use it, but you have credit in your account and you can use it. But you need to find out how you can make the most out of it and how you can unleash this potential. So we may have already heard of scientists who started in their garage and backyard, and now they are really top scientists, and they learned a lot in few years' time about their subject with very humble beginnings, but they ended up changing the world. And that came by spending a few years doing that and by trying out what's that they're interested in. And of course, if you want to pursue this kind of route where you want to open a workshop in your house, take your dad's garage and make your mom upset by throwing things on the floor and stuff like that. You need to love your subject. You need to love what is it that you're doing. You cannot just do it for money, for instance, or for salary, or for a pure business. you need to be very patient. You need to do what it takes to get there. And so I'm going to share with you a little story about myself and how I ended up working in the microcontroller sector. So the aim is just to explore reality and to compare the normal and the normal thing that people do, and what it actually and practically takes to change our reality and the industry here locally. All right. So I'd like to now talk about my personal story. So I studied at the University of Sheffield, one of the world top universities, one of the top universities in the United Kingdom, and I studied control systems engineering. And my early beginnings at the university were very simple, extremely humble. I was thinking exactly the same as every normal person studying abroad, and I was thinking I want to obtain a very good degree. I want to learn a lot, of course. I want to get high grades. That was one of my top priorities. I mean, I wanted to be first, but not for a good reason. And I was thinking, all right, I'm going to go abroad, study in one of the very good universities in the world. I'm going to learn how to speak English in the proper way, and so I'll have lots of advantages when I come back home. I'd have very good certificates, and I'd have some experience, and language will be a plus as well. And I'm going to get a job, a very well-paid job, like some of the companies that you already know. Don't need to mention any names here. And but that changed really quickly. As I went through my university, I discovered myself and I developed passion for control systems. And I started buying some motors and cars and electronic boards, and I tried to make some systems in my holidays, just for the fun of it, for the sake of learning. I used to enjoy labs a lot. Of course, not writing lab reports, but doing the experiments and exploring about that thing. But there was a turning point in my study, and the time I spent in the UK, I really like to learn more about how the nation is successful, and I've seen a lot there. If you take the train or the bus, you would go across lots of industrial areas. There are lots of factories and lots of companies, and in fact, it's just very easy just to look up in the web. If you search for any engineering jobs in the UK, there are enormous. There are plenty of engineering jobs, and that's mainly they're a highly industrialized nation, and they started from scratch. If you look at the history, so let's get back to myself. I went through university. I finished year 1 and 2. And then I was very lucky to get a work placement. So work placement is you spend 1 year away from university, 1 full year, not just a month or 2. You stop university completely and you go take 12 months placement or internship, as they call it. And you work 8 hours in a company, 8 hours a day. And they pay you salary as well, which was useful. And I learned a lot. It was really exciting to see how proper industrialized company runs. The company I work with called TBG Solutions, and it's pretty much unlike any company that you will find in Bahrain, but I'm sure people will argue there are some, and I'm pretty sure there are some very good company here in Bahrain, but perhaps very limited. But anyway, this company was below normal. So it was the company that it's just a company that you would work with for the very early part of your career. But if you were to move on, you would change the company. But that company was extremely good for me. I really like it. We go at the start of the week, I get so excited and passionate to go work on Monday. You get to see how you use your university background in theories, mathematics and physics, and apply them into day-to-day problem solving. And that was so exciting, very fascinating. And it was at that particular moments during the placement and spending 2 to 3 months in my placement, I started reconsidering and rethinking, like, is that really what I want to do? Is that really, do I really want to just go back and apply for a job? Maybe I'll be an operator in one of the companies here that are pure consumer of technology and will be happy with a good salary, getting married and just starting life and thinking about social insurance. Do I really want to do what my dad does or did and my uncles and cousins? That was very clear. That was a turning point. I started asking a lot of questions and I had answers. But that was very useful for me. I started watching a lot of documentaries on how the UK happened to have such giant companies. I mean, this little company that I trained with, they do engineering projects with Rolls-Royce, with General Electric, with British Gas, with London King's College, with dentistry and all that. I took part into some of those as well that I mentioned. And that was a life-changing experience. It was like, oh, okay, this is a very small enterprise and they can already do that much engineering work, and it's very high cutting edge and very high-end technology. So that was a turning point in my life, and I started asking myself questions of, can I do that? Can I, when I go back home, am I going to be able to open a startup little company with a workshop where I can exercise my hobby and do the things I love? Can I do that? I started asking this a lot, and even my friends have noticed that. I'll keep asking them this particular question a lot, and I started thinking, what am I going to do after graduation? So, long story short, the placement went extremely well, and I got opportunities to even travel while at work. We went once to Scotland on a site tour. One of the most remarkable work travel I did is to London King's College. I was working then on a project related to dentistry with the dentist technology. It was a very good research project that I was doing, and it was a collaborative project between the company I used to train with and London King's College and another university in the UK. And there I met some of the top dentists. There was someone called, I think, Professor Brian Miller, and he is a top guy in dentistry. It was a life-changing experiences that I went through, and it was so obvious to me that nations really develop by trying. And if you look at the history of UK, for instance, and how they became a very industrialized nation, and nowadays we've got China. China does mass production. Now I'm diverting our just a little bit, but excuse me for that. I think it's important to mention that there. And you know, China can do mass production, but the UK does high-end industry. So extremely complicated industrial projects are not done in China, they're done in the UK, but replicates are done in China, that's fine. But the research-based one are mostly in the UK. But anyway, so by the time I finished my placements, I went back to uni for my last year, for my graduation year at the University of Sheffield. I done my third year, and it went very quickly because my thinking wasn't really into my study, although I got first. I graduated to be the top in my departments. But that wasn't the point. I got the grades, I got the certificate. I got so passionate. I was full of passion and enthusiasm that I want to try this out. And no matter who I talk to, they tell me the utter reality that we don't have an industry here in Bahrain. We don't have a developing industry here. We rather have a consumer industry. Now, of course, we've got some successful industries like aluminium and stuff like that, and petrol, of course. But technology-wise, we're very we haven't got much. That's the easiest way to say it. So, so I had the option to either apply for a job and try out in my part-time, try to do something in my house. But my passion really exceeded my exceeded everything else. So I decided to start something. I just wanted to start anywhere. So I started a YouTube channel and I started posting programming videos about anything I learned in my placement. I would go and put it on YouTube and try to educate people and try to read more about the subject. And that was my very humble beginning. I started on YouTube and I've got a few clients from there. Some people approached me and I went to freelancing websites and I got few projects. But that was very little. And I wanted to do something very big. So to wrap up the story very short, because the point is not really into the story, it's into the conclusion of the story. It's so I came back, I graduated from University of Sheffield, and I was sitting at home, and I was every day working on programming. I didn't stop programming since my placement. Everything I learned into my training, I carried on doing it at home on my own, and doing projects for clients online. And I'd be working 8 to 10 hours a day already in my house. Then I spoke to my dad and I said, well, of course, my dad tried to convince me to get a job. I refused, and I said that's not what I want to do. I was planning to set up one of the rooms in our house into a lab and buy electronics machinery and some of the electronics technology like oscilloscope, soldering station, perhaps a 3D printer and a PCB reflow oven and all these kind of stuff, and a workshop basically. We were planning on doing that, and then my dad suddenly got very excited towards my ideas and he said, okay, why don't we go rent a place? You want to rent a place like a flat or an office where you can set up your workshop and give it a try. And you can invite your friends as well, because I've got long-term friends who share the same passion as I do, and we happen to work together as well. So we set up this very humble workshop, and now it's my company. Now I've got a startup company that's been here for 3 years, and I'm working really hard on it. And when you try it, when you make your workshop and start buying machinery and do it every day, you would code in you start with a Hello World program, and now you'll end up with an extremely cutting edge C program or C++ embedded software that the entire world want to buy it from you. Now they want to hire me to write their software. And in fact, now I have a long-term project. I have a project in the United States with a long-term client of mine who's been there since 2017. And I've got here behind me that's the system I designed and I program for them. This is just an example. So I got projects and I work on them daily. It started very simple and very humble. But you get to practice your passion and you keep learning, because after university, after graduation, you have very good potential, but you don't have experience and you don't have proper up-to-date view to the market and to the existing technologies. You need to learn new languages. You need to look out there. What are the new hardwares that I can program and I can learn and then turn them into business. Of course, one of the most exciting moments is when you spend a lot of time of hard work researching and developing and learning about the technology that you're excited about. I'm excited about control systems, and I happen to do it since 2015 and 16, since the year of my training up to now. I didn't stop doing it since. And it is so exciting when you turn that into business, when you see your bank account going up because people are paying you for the projects that you do, and start making some savings and start thinking like any, you start thinking differently, I would say. So now when I've got any more saving in my account that I generated revenues from the business I do, I'd think about buying the next machinery. Of course, my wife would think about maybe buying a house or something. I'll think about machines. And now, in conclusion, I really want to sum it up and leave some time for questions. But in conclusion, I mentioned this purely just to to share with you a view that I hold on our current situation, our industrial market here in Bahrain, and how I think it's a shared responsibility that we think of setting up labs and workshops and trying to kickstart the technology here in Bahrain. And mostly, we don't really have to reinvent the wheel. We don't have to even invent any new technology. We just need to learn the existing technology, to learn more about it, read about it, and try to turn it into business ideas. And believe me, I've been here in the market for 3 years, and the opportunities are enormous once you start putting a step into this direction. So there are so many opportunities once you start thinking enterprise, thinking about workshop, thinking, doing it in the proper and practical and real way, not just searching for a job. If everybody searched for jobs, maybe perhaps nobody will find a job because no one is willing to open research centers, companies, and new businesses. So, so my short message from this talk is to my colleagues and my friends, the students that are about to graduate, is to think deeply with yourself. What is it that you want to do? What is it that you love to do? And just to start in your house, start learning new programming languages. And programming languages are extremely important. So do that. Start buying new hardware. If you know about the Arduino, get the Arduino first, and then go to the Raspberry Pi, go to the STM, TI, NXP, 8mil, microchip. I can count so many of them. Just go and learn and see what is it that you love the most. And another talk title was microcontrollers, but that's my take on it. So yeah, that's all from me. If anyone has any questions for me, I'll be happy to take it.
شكرا محمد. شكرا المهندس محمد لهالحوار المفيد، واللي عنده أي سؤال يرفع يده إذا ما عليكم أمر. تفضل حسين.
First, thank you. Hello, it's my voice clear?
Yeah, say go ahead.
To be honest, thank you for this presentation. For me, I am computer student in my last year. I didn't see any jobs for microcontrollers. Most of the jobs are for network programming developer. So it's very surprised to see anyone in Bahrain working in control, especially. Just thank you, really. That's very helpful to know that there are opportunity if you have the knowledge, the required knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we need to work hard to set up this market. That's in short. Amna, go ahead.
Thank you, engineer. I have a question regarding the challenges of starting your own business. You've mentioned a lot of the positives of working on something that you're passionate about. Can you please let us know if anyone here is willing to start a new business, what kind of challenges will they face and how to potentially overcome these challenges?
Okay, thanks, Anna. Very good question. So, first of all, I personally think that before even thinking about challenges, it's the mindset that students should have. And here we have to face reality. Partially of what same question said as well. Microcontroller market and microcontroller technology here in Bahrain and perhaps generally in the region is extremely limited to none. And so we need to think about the industrial mindset. We need to think about creating something from scratch. It will be extremely challenging. You need to think about, you first need to boost your knowledge. You need to learn a lot. You need to look out there. What are the most or commonly used technologies? You need to learn new languages. You need to learn about new hardware and obtain skills constantly. I really believe in the workshop and garage way to do things. So I would say just start from your house. Leave every distraction aside. Don't think about money, about job, about salaries. This is not how other nations develop. This is not how the top nations in the world have got to what they are right now. They got to it by hard work. They got to this by if we talk about monetary challenges, or if the challenge is not finding a job, that's not a challenge. This is what we're trying to do in the first place, to create the industry here. About money, there are so many banks here that are willing to fund your work if you have business ideas. But before any business ideas, you first need to work on yourself. Graduating from university doesn't mean you're ready to take on jobs and you obtain businesses. You have the potential, but you need to enhance this potential and unleash it. So, yeah, as on the challenges, I think there are no challenges. We just need to get started, and you need to deal with the challenges as they come, and there will be challenges surely. But the first one is if you love what to do, I think everything else is irrelevant.
شكرا.
Anyone has any other question? I want to ask the audience a question, if you don't mind. Does anyone interested in? Does any of you have? Not even sure how to ask the question. Did anyone started any workshop in their house? Did anyone have some tools they play with in their garage or something? Just wondering.
Yeah, for me as computer engineering, I have like Arduino or Raspberry, some sensors, wires, like that. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome, Sam. How about Emmy? Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Let's hear multiple people. I think Emmy already raised their hand. You have a workshop in your class, Emmy? No?
Unfortunately, no, but your story was very inspiration. Thank you.
Thanks, Ahmed. Appreciate it. Yeah, just a final word from me. And I think if nobody has any question to wrap things up.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. وشكرا لحضوركم في فعاليتنا. أتمنى استفدتوا أشياء مفيدة. إن شاء الله باكر عندنا فعالية جديدة ويا مهندسين يدل. أتمنى تحضرون ويانا. وقبل ما نختم أحب أذكركم أن في رابط فيدباك في تشات بوكس. أتمنى تملون الاستمارة وشكرا.
عفوا.
Thank you, Mr. Mohamed. That was it.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.